Please welcome Anna Wintour.
So tonight it is my very great honor to present Aurora James, the visionary creator of Brother Vellies, with the Founders Award. Aurora is receiving this for establishing the 15% Pledge, an initiative which has brought real and meaningful change to our industry and to the world. Yet when I think about Aurora, I think 100%, because that's exactly what she gives to everything that she does. I first met Aurora back in 2015 when she was one of our 10 finalists for the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund, something that she would go on to win. We'd barely spoken for a minute before she said, "Anna, I'm a crier," and her honesty was so disarming. But Aurora doesn't spill her tears because of nerves or fear or frustration. They're part of her empathetic makeup, something that is as true to her as her unwavering ambition to make the world a better place. Brother Vellies is striving to make fashion more equitable while celebrating sustainable creativity and craftsmanship around the world. And last year, as we saw this country reckon with tragic events, there was also a surge in thinking about what could be done to begin righting some wrongs that have persisted throughout the long shadow of American history. Aurora, for her part, came up with an idea, genius in both its simplicity and its profundity. Have major companies and corporations sign on to supporting Black-owned businesses to the tune of at least 15%. I know that Aurora worked on this tirelessly. Throughout the working day, she juggled the Pledge and Brother Vellies, and then after dinner, around 10 or 11, when the rest of us, at least Tom and I, would be calling it a night, she would set the button and start her working day all over again, answering customer emails, working on festive holiday wreaths, cooking dinner, and handwriting about 1,000 thank you notes, bringing new meaning to the phrase, "The revolution never sleeps," or as Brandon Maxwell puts it, Aurora shows up. The power of the 15% Pledge was the way it brought grassroots activism into the boardrooms across America and around the world. We at Condé Nast signed up, as did so many of you in this room. The Pledge fused the most powerful messaging with actionable results. It is an industry-transforming, life-changing, and era-defining. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it continues to flourish and thrive, or indeed how Aurora herself will continue to flourish and to thrive. So, Aurora, no crying, but please come up and accept your much-deserved award for the Founders Award from everyone in this room and way beyond.
It is really hard not to cry, to be honest with you. Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you for always betting on me. On Saturday, May 29th, just a few days after the murder of George Floyd, my inbox was flooded with email newsletters from major corporations and retailers telling me they stood with me and that suddenly Black lives mattered. And while I was reading them, I wasn't truly believing them. My heart knew that we needed more. It was a global pandemic, we were all shut at home, and the stats suggested that 42% of Black-owned businesses would close across this country during the pandemic. My phone rang. It was a colleague of mine suggesting we need to talk about a major retailer she was partnered with. They were based in Minneapolis where Mr. Floyd was murdered, she explained, but they were great people, and they love Black people. They just donated $2 million to the NAACP. I knew that Black people in America spent more than $2 million in the first hour that store was open every single day. Well, what would you want them to do? She asked. I said back that black people in America make almost 15% of this population. They should consider committing 15% of their purchasing power or shelf space to black-owned businesses across this country. She listened to me and quickly advised that she didn't think it would happen, so we got off the phone. It was true. But then I sat and I thought about it. I thought about the impact it would have across the country, how it would drive resources to these businesses and opportunities that they've been historically excluded from. Venture capital would suddenly be forced to take notice, and their promise might seem a little bit brighter. So I wrote it all out, notes on my phone, and I posted it on Instagram an hour later. Myself and my web designer stayed up overnight on Sunday to launch a petition Monday at noon. By Tuesday, we had almost 100,000 signatures. By Wednesday, we were a nonprofit, and by day 10, Sephora became the first major company to commit to the 15% pledge. To date, we have now announced 29 of the largest and most influential companies in the world as pledge takers. I'm very proud. I have. Through our contractual commitments with our pledge takers, we are shifting over $10 billion to black-owned businesses across America. In just the first 6 months of this year, we put 385 black-owned businesses on the shelves of our pledge takers. The 15% pledge is the largest economic driver for black people that this country has ever seen. And it all started with some of the people in this room having the willingness to say yes, to place a bet on me, and to place a bet on this idea. As some of you may know, I launched my accessories brand, Brother Vellies, with $3,500 at the Hester Street Fair in the Lower East Side. Since then, we've expanded our production across Africa, South Africa, Kenya, Morocco, Ethiopia, Haiti, Burkina Faso, Mali, and into other countries like Haiti, Mexico, the US, and Italy. I've gone on to independently scale my business to sell millions of dollars while maintaining 100% ownership. But in many ways, it's important for you guys to note that that was not necessarily by choice. Investors were never willing to make a bet on me. I didn't look or sound like the people that they were used to placing bets on. And at one point, I almost lost my entire business to a mentor who turned into a horrible factoring deal. But that's the norm. Only 48 black women in this country have ever been able to raise more than $1 million in venture capital. That's also why I decided that I was going to have to become my own investor. And I'm excited to tell you guys that in the first quarter of next year, the 15% pledge is launching our very first fund to invest directly into the pipeline of black-owned businesses across this country who've had a historic lack of access to capital. The fund is going to be called Friends and Family. To my fashion and beauty partners who are in the room tonight, Sephora, Nordstrom, Macy's, Hudson's Bay, Moda Operandi, Matches, J. Crew, Ulta Beauty, Gap, Inc., Vogue, and InStyle, thank you for taking the pledge. Really, from the bottom of my heart. And to those of you who haven't yet taken the pledge, I have one question. What are you waiting for? We are all independently guilty. We have created this mess of inequality. Grace Wales Bonner is actually the first female designer to win a CFDA award this evening. And while we are all guilty, ultimately we need to understand that it's the system that's to blame. Right now, we sit in this room together, undoubtedly one of the most powerful rooms in America. And we, independently have the ability to rebuild our system and shift our structures to form the America we want and need it to be. A big thank you to everyone for this honor, not just in receiving this award, but supporting Brother Veli's when we decided to launch a nonprofit instead of a resort collection last year. I love you so much. And a big thank you to the 15% Pledge's Executive Director, Latoya Williams-Belfort, and our board chair, Emma Greed, as well as the 15 women that work tirelessly every day at the Pledge, which is now one of the fastest growing nonprofits in this country. I hope to see you all at our first ever gala in February of next year. Thank you so much, you guys.